Hey everyone! So today we're going to talk about Google Analytics. We've already gone through the steps of, or at least you should have gone through the steps of installing the Google Analytics plugin on your WordPress dashboard and actually creating an account. So now I'm going to show you exactly what information you will be able to get from using your analytics. So let's hop on over here. So real quick, here's your dashboard when you first log in. And so when you install the plugin for it, then this will be right here. Most of you probably came with the with this one, which is part of Jetpack, and so it's kind of the same thing. Google Analytics just is a little more detailed and provides a lot more information. So we'll go over here, and so you just type Google Analytics in the thing up here, and the first one that comes up. And so I'm already logged in, so it's going to go to my dashboard. And so if you haven't done this part already, just go ahead and go to Google Analytics, create an account, and go through all of the steps of, it'll ask you for all sorts of information on your website, your social media handles, all that stuff, just to get everything connected. So here we are. This is what it looks like when you first log in. And so there is a lot of information on here that might seem a bit kind of overwhelming or foreign. So I'm going to make it really easy for you to understand. So this is the home view here. And so this is going to kind of show you, your user sessions, your bounce rate, and things like that. So we're going to click, and usually it's preset, or when it comes up, it's at the last 7 days, but you can totally change that to see, a wider range. But if you click here on Audience Overview, it's going to kind of expand the information. And so I am going to go for a 30-day period here. So you can see a full month. So this is the whole month of April. So it showed I had a total of 2,318 users. That's individual IP addresses or accounts that visited the blog. And of those 2,300, 2,100 were brand new. So my content's getting out there in front of, a lot of new people. And, I just to mention this, I used to participate in a lot of those blogger reciprocation threads where you post a link to a new blog post and then everyone else in the thread has to click on your link, stay a minute and then click through another link. And that's building traffic. It's building your credibility and so that Google will know you're there. But typically, when you're participating in those, not typically, pretty much, if you're participating in those a lot, your bounce rate here is going to be super, super high. And just to show you, let me go back to around, let's see what I had in November. This is when I was doing those reciprocation threads. I do 2 or 3 of them every single day. And it reflects here. That means they literally just clicked on my link, clicked on another link, closed out the browser. And so this is not good. You want your bounce rate to be low, and that means the people coming to your site are actually staying and reading your content and clicking through to read more of your content. And you can see that. Let me show you here. So we'll go back to April just to show you more recent. So see, I'm more about the same amount of users. My sessions, and I'll explain this, is higher, but my bounce rate is super low. That means the people that are coming to my website are staying on my website, clicking through other links to read additional content that I have on my site. And that's really important. So for those of you participating, every day in the reciprocation threads, I don't know what your end goal is, what it is you're going for. I mean, if you're a new blogger trying to get those page views up simply so you can apply to some of the influencer programs and things like that, I totally get that. But once you've been approved for those, then maybe, lay off. And the reason is, your whole goal with your blog really is to monetize, right? Let's be honest. We want to make money. And so you are going to have a much better conversion rate. In other words, people are going to click on your links and possibly make a purchase on whatever it is you're recommending or promoting. if they're actually interested in you. And so when you do those reciprocation threads, you know, those people are just clicking on your blog link because they have to, so you'll click back on theirs, right? They don't really care what you're writing about. Now, that's not to say, you know, a lot of new bloggers do that. So getting your content in front of new bloggers, you may pull in a few loyal followers that way. But overall, it's just not a good practice to do those as a habit. Me personally, when I publish a post, I will participate in maybe 1 or 2 of the smaller threads, just to get some initial traction to the post. And then I might do 1 or 2 comment threads just so I can get some comments on there, because those things do affect ranking. And then that's it. I don't do it like every day. You know, a few months later, I might participate in one just if I see a post isn't really, you know, going anywhere, or it's kind of fallen off, just to get some more traction to it. But I use those very, very sparingly, because I want this rate to be down, and I want the people who are on my blog or on my website to want to be there. In other words, they want to read my stuff, my content. They're more likely to click on the links, and they're more likely to purchase anything through the links that I've given them. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, especially for new bloggers who are like, you know, seeing all, you know, oh, I get all this traffic, I'm getting 10,000 page views, you know, and that's great, but it's not honest, you know, legitimate, valuable traffic. You want loyal followers. Okay. All right. So users, again, this is how many people for the month, unique, you know, individual people that came to the site as a whole. Of those 2318, 2110 were new. Okay. Now the sessions is going to be, well, hopefully higher. So that means, and I'll just hover over it so you can see here, the total number of sessions is the period of time a user is actively engaged with your website. All usage data is associated with this section. So that is, you know, how many times really they were on my site. So maybe they were on it and then they came back. So that also leads into your page views. The total number of pages viewed, repeated views of a single user are included in that. So of those 2,318 users, aside from just the landing page, which obviously would be, you know, 2,318 views, because each of them landed on it once at least. But then if they click through to another page or another post within my blog, those are all page views. How many pages, how many times did a page on my blog get viewed? And so this is multiple pages by a single user, as well as return visits from a user that's been there before. So like I have a Profitable Bloggers Toolbox. I have a lot of resources for bloggers on my website. And so maybe they came to it the one time and then they bookmarked it and then came back later to research some tools that they may have wanted to invest in their own blogs. Pages per session, and then the average session duration. So how long are they staying on my blog on average? And so that's all of them combined, divided by. Okay, so down here, and you can see this little pie graph here, new visitors versus returning visitors. You know, ideally, many of you will want your green to be a little more. I'm okay with the 22% because, again, I provide content for new bloggers. And so getting new visitors is good for me because then, you know, many of them will come back and, you know, want more of the content that I'm providing. All right, so down here, you can see where your users are primarily coming from. And so for me, the US, you know, for this month, this is for the entire month of April. 82% of my visitors were from the US. We have country, you can break it down by language, what's the operating system, you know, they're coming from, and if they're on a mobile, which one they're using. And so I just think this is cool, you know, to see no matter where you live in the world. You know, I had posted on my Facebook recently, you know, I'm just this girl down in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm a nobody. And I don't mean that like I have bad self-esteem or anything. It's just I'm not some famous Kardashian or celebrity that a million people are following. I'm just me. But I'm having an impact across the world. So it doesn't matter what you you know, what you do or what you like or what you are into, other people may want that information too. And the internet has made it so that we can literally have an impact on people across the globe. And that's, you know, detailed out right here. All right, so let's go back home. This thing is loading pretty slow today. Do the little Jeopardy sound. Okay, and so this blue one here, this is a real-time report. So like literally right now as I'm making this video, three people other than myself, it's not counting me, are on my website right now. And these are the pages that they're looking at this particular time. So, you know, that's kind of cool. So how do you acquire your users? So how are people first finding your website? This is very important information for you because it can show you, you know, you may think you're putting all this effort into this one platform, say you're spending a lot of time on Twitter promoting your stuff, but then when you come in here and look, like you're not getting any traffic to your blog from Twitter. So maybe you should stop playing on Twitter so much. I'm not saying don't completely do away with it, but this lets you know where the majority of your traffic is coming from so that you can then focus more of your efforts towards that platform and, you know, kind of changing up, editing, doing whatever, honing your process so that you can then bring in more visitors through that platform. And so it'll tell you the traffic channel here, social, direct, referral, email. Then if you click on source medium, it tells you specifically which one. So direct is, just hover over it here. So this is for Tuesday, May 1st. Other is a combination of different things. But my newsletter or email, so basically they got an email from me. My newsletter it's considered an email because it comes through the same channel. And so for that particular day, 21 visitors came from that. From my school, my Teachable school, 16 referrals from Pinterest, 17, and then direct. That means they just, you know, coming directly to it, like typing it in or finding it through a search. So we can click over here to acquisition report, and that's basically all of these things down here. Instead of me going through it, you can just click on it from the home page. But your acquisition is where you're getting them from, all traffic, and then you have channels, source, referrals, and all of that. So this breaks it down even more. And this period is, again, for the month of April. So of all of my users, Pinterest is, you know, I'm always preaching, if you're a blogger and you're not on Pinterest, you're really doing yourself a disservice because that is where a lot of bloggers get the majority of their traffic. And so you can see here, referral from Pinterest. They clicked on a pin, it took them to a blog post. Plain and simple, that's what that means. And new users, you can see my new users of that 2,110 new users. Look how many of those were from Pinterest. So Pinterest is bringing in a lot of new people to my blog that wouldn't have otherwise found me. And you know, I know SEO, search engine optimization, is like this super scary word, and a lot of people really struggle to figure out what SEO word phrases that they should be using. So while you're trying to figure that out and hone it in for your particular content, Pinterest can be working in your behalf to send traffic to you, because Pinterest, yes, Pinterest works on SEO to a point, but their algorithms and the way everything works is a lot different than a Google search. And so it's a lot easier to get found on Pinterest than it is to rank #1 on Google. Okay, so it's really important that you invest in your pinnable images. Make sure you have a good Pinterest image, your social share button so people can pin it, and all of that good stuff. And so there's a whole nother course I offer on how to use Pinterest for your blog. And obviously I highly recommend it because I wrote it, but it is a very intense course that teaches you, how to create good pins, how to connect everything, how to hide pins so they're not visible on the front end. I mean, just all of that stuff. So, okay. And so bounce rate, See how low it is. My Pinterest people, they're staying on my page, okay? They like what I have, and so when they find me on Pinterest, they're like there. So the bounce rate is low. And so Google organic, that means they type something in Google, and a page of mine, something from my blog, showed up in the search results. That's what that means. Facebook. Now I have a private group, and so I have a business page, but I have a private group also. So these, one of them is referring from my group. So maybe I posted a post in the group, like a new post or one of my resource pages or something, and then they came to my site from there. Facebook referrals can also be, you know, my business site. I don't get a lot of traffic from my business site because, you know, well, Facebook and their algorithms, my site doesn't get seen as much, and I'm not really active on my business page anyway. So here is your, and here's another one. Each of these, so let me click on that one for you real quick. And you can go in and research this because, you know, some of the words like L-Facebook, I think it's M-Facebook, and then Facebook, just Facebook. It's each a different place in Facebook. So again, if you're in a group, my personal group, I'm in several other bloggers groups, not just the one that I own. And then of course your business page and my personal page, I share my blog posts on my personal Facebook. And so it's just a combination of those different things. Pinterest social, that means it was a social share. Somebody shared my pin and then a person clicked on it. And then my subscribe page. So these are for my, I have subscribe pages out there on Pinterest actually for my Profitable Bloggers Toolbox. And so, you know, as a lead magnet to gain email subscribers, they have to subscribe. So that's just showing I got 36. So if they visited my site, that means they subscribed. So I gained 36 subscribers from my lead magnet, which is only promoted on Pinterest. I don't have it on the blog itself. All right, so let's go back here to referrals. Now here is where you can find, so this is acquisition, all traffic, referrals. So you can see again, these are websites, or, I mean, this is technically a website because it's a landing page. But if you see something on here that's out of the norm, so like your normal social medias, your own things, my Teachable, my subscribe page, and then there's this Hooray for Coffee. If you find something on here out of the blue that you're not quite sure what that is, you can go straight to it, which this is another blogger's website. She actually wrote a review of one of my courses, and of course when someone writes a review they link to the person's, you know, website. So I got some good traffic from her writing a review. So that's why it's really important for you to try to find guest posting opportunities, or, you know, if you have a product that you create like a course or downloadable or something else, you know, talk to some other new bloggers. And this will get both of you some traffic because, you know, you can mention something of theirs on your blog, they can mention something yours, and send traffic both ways. Okay, so let's go down here. The next one I want to show you is, well, let's do channels real quick. So this is the channels. So the starting category, social, direct referral, organic search. So I'm going to click on organic search. And what's going to come up here is basically this not provided. There's a ton of people have asked this question even to Google what that means, because obviously it's a lot, 208. They've not been able to say exactly what that means, which doesn't really help you much trying to figure out what you're doing right. But it's a combination of several different factors is basically how they have explained it, that doesn't fall into one of these other ones. So, but the keywords, so these, when you clicked on that one, it said organic search. So for the month of April, These are search words or word phrases that someone typed in to Google or to Pinterest, and my content came up in the results and they clicked on it. Okay, and so you can use this, a month, or say you make a, reviewing your stuff at the end of the month, you can go back and see what search words people were using to find you, like find your content. And then that can give you the direction of what words you should be using to keyword or SEO, your next post that you're planning to write. Again, you need to use words or word phrases that people are actually searching for. So you might think, if I was searching for this is what I would type in the Google search bar. But that's you. So you have to see what overall the majority of other people are searching for, what words they're using to find that same content. All right. We did referrals already. These are all the places that are sending me traffic. And then you can click on Search Console here and Queries. And that one again is about the SEO keywords. So there's two ones. You can do it in the All Traffic and then click on Console, Search Console, and Queries. And so these are all the things that someone typed in Google. This is specific for Google. And one of my pages, a landing page for my blog, whether it be a blog post or the actual main page itself, one of my toolboxes, whatever. They typed this word or word phrase, I want to stop existing. Wow, that's kind of scary. And something of mine came up. So I'm hoping the person or persons that typed this in found my post about how to start existing and living life to its fullest. But again, this just shows you which content of yours is getting found and what search words people are using to find it. Because again, what you thought might not be what people are searching for. How to stop existing. Oh, it's kind of scary that I'm reading this right now. I haven't really reviewed my analytics for this month or for April yet. So I'm just hoping that whatever they read from me actually had an impact so that they now want to exist. But anyway. Okay, so we'll go down here. Come back up to home. Now, just remember, because you're using Google Analytics, they've also updated their stuff in regard to the GDPR. And as you can see up here at the top, they put a little notice here so you can read more about it. You should have also received an email if you're already registered with Google Analytics and you've been using it. Just to the part about where you keep people's data, how long you save it. And there's a place in there that you can check. It's all in the email. You just follow the steps so that you can set the time frame. That way on your privacy policy on your page, you can specifically say any information contained through Google Analytics is only kept for 14 months or whatever. And then Google Analytics does all the hard work, which is actually getting rid of their data. So I know some people are kind of freaked out, like, how do I get rid of it? Can I just hit the delete button and it goes away? Well, anything contained or acquired through Google Analytics, which is all the stuff we were just looking at, will go away after the specified time that you choose. Okay? Let's see. So how are your actives trending over time? This is some of the same information. Go back home here. I don't know why it's loading so slow today. Probably because I need to use it. Okay, let's come down here. When do they visit? You can see what time of day is most active on your blog. Again, the sessions by country, what devices they're using, what pages. So here you can see for the month or 7 days, whatever time period you put in here, your, which pages or posts, I should say. Mine are a lot of pages because I have a lot of things created on the page template that don't show up in my blog feed. And I have Pinterest pins leading to all of them. So you can see the page views for each individual one. But for you just doing blog posts, this just lets you know, you may have written this post here like 2 months ago and it's still getting the highest page views. You know, that's really great. Go back and figure out how to monetize it more. And then say this post down here was only getting like 2. Well, if that was the newest post you posted, that's expected. It'll take a while to get traction. But just let you know what content that you're writing is having the most impact and what people are actually wanting to read. And then if you're doing AdWords, that'll be right here. I don't do AdWords myself. Where are your users? So you can click on this one here, and it breaks it down by country, which I just think this is the coolest thing. You know, again, I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas, but I got people in South Africa, Nigeria, and the Philippines, you know, reading my content, and that's just like the coolest thing ever. I mean, there was one month I found countries that like I couldn't even pronounce. Indonesia, Lithuania. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, I could go on and on about this. I just think this is just the most amazing thing, how the internet has literally made it for us to be able to communicate and impact people across the world. So, okay, so that's really it. Again, you know, if you just created your account, there's really not going to be any data there. And I just recommend going in here, you know, post to post, give it a week or two, go in and check the analytics, and you can totally do that. You know, you'll see it real time here each day. This one you can change to just to see a snapshot for the month or however long, and you can change this here to organic searches in the last 30 days. But I want to go back. Oops, sessions. Okay, I just like this view myself. And I keep mine on yesterday so I can see how yesterday was. So yesterday was a great day for my page. I had 342 views, 9 times from an organic search someone found me. That's actually pretty cool. And my bounce rate is at 10.31, so I'm happy with that. All right, so yeah, that's it. Just get in here, kind of play around, look at the different links here to see, you know, what's in which section. But the biggest thing is just seeing where the people are finding you so that you can focus in more on that. Checking how well your blog posts are doing, like which pages and posts are getting the most traffic. And then, you know, depending on, especially with GDPR, that, you know, knowing that a lot of your traffic comes from the EU, you know, definitely making sure you're in compliance, which we should all be in compliance because we're on the internet and anyone can find us. But also, you know, depending on what your industry is, what niche, if it's travel, if it's, you know, whatever, knowing what countries that the majority of your viewers are coming from can help you tailor some of your marketing efforts as well. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. I know it was a lot of information, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand the purpose of the analytics and why it's so important and why you need to have it connected to your blog from the very beginning so that when you do finally get around and have time to go in there and look at it, there's some actual data there for you to look at. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next lesson.